Good evening, everyone, and thanks for showing up, okay? All right? I appreciate that you came because it's beautiful weather, it's the springtime, but at least you're telling yourself that you might be a priority. How often have you heard, I don't have enough time and I don't have enough money? All right? So that is almost everyone. And believe it or not, this is you not knowing that on a subconscious level, you are dishonoring and disrespecting everything about yourself. And that's the way you've been raised, because your parents disrespected themselves. They didn't try to disrespect you, but you can only give what you are. You can't give what you're not. Now, whether anybody wants to believe this or not, I'm going to drop a couple of bombs here tonight, because the reality is, whether you believe this or not, when I do these lectures, I would like to grow too. I would like to grow too. And me growing is standing in my power and telling the truth. And the truth is a hard pill to swallow. Most of you will never ever look at the truth. I look at the truth on all levels in my life every day. I have no problem apologizing. But I will never say sorry for anything. I will never say sorry, and Canadians are so sorry now. And it's driving me nuts.
Not me.
So the reality is that I'm going to tell you something right now. You actually believe that your personality was God-given, or it's your personality that you brought from another time zone or something. And I can tell you that your personality was only put together by the people that were around you, that got programmed by the same people that are going to be bringing and pulling the diaper off our butts and putting it on our face this winter. And the reality is they're coming at us with 4 prongs this time, not 1. And the only thing that's going to get you through this time is minding your own business. You got it. Minding your own business. You know, I don't care. I don't care about the government. They've already, I hope you know that your government spent $250,000 last year on trying to put a show to destroy me. And they called me up just a few days ago to tell me that they're not done with me. It didn't work the first time. And they're going to do a podcast on me. Understand something. And all I said to the reporter was thanks for the badge of honor. And the reality is this, why would I talk to you when 67% of your funding comes from the government? Why would I talk to you? And the other thing is that if I actually did everything you said, I should be in jail for at least 30 years. I've been trying to tell you guys that, come and get me. Come and get me. Let me tell you something. Get rid of your fear right now. And you fear yourself, you fear the morning, you fear the night, you fear everything in between. You know what? How many people here have bought health insurance? And if you did, you bought health insurance because you knew that you were going to get sick and maybe die. I will never buy health insurance because I am not sick. There is nothing sick about me. I don't have any sick thoughts about me, about anybody here. I don't have sick thoughts about Marketplace, the government, or anybody else, because it's never going to change. You got to understand something. You don't get it. Why don't you do some lineage work? The royal family aren't royal. They're royally giving it to you up the ass. And they go back thousands of years. Okay, tens of thousands of years. Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bill Gates didn't invent the computer. He was handed the blueprint. It's not like, please wake up. Wake up tonight and know one thing. Nothing matters except for you. And if nothing mattered but you, if you could actually love, honor, and respect yourself and not care what your family thinks, your friends think, or the world thinks, because the world's not thinking. Let me prove it to you. Everything is robotic. You know what? I'm in the present moment because the most prominent, dominant belief that I have is staying in the present moment. I fear nothing. You need to get that. And you're going to go, bull crap. He's lying. Really? Why don't you ask the people that work with me? Why don't you ask my children? Why don't you ask everybody? You think you get threatened? No, you threaten yourself. I don't threaten myself. I get threatened every day. I'll get threatened on here. You see these platforms? People will come on here threaten me. Why? Because they feel threatened by what I say. They feel threatened by what I say. God loved them anyway. And I'm going to tell you something right now. God loved everyone. Have compassion for everyone. Who do you hate? What do you hate? Oh, I hate broccoli. Really? What did broccoli do to you? Oh, I just have nightmares about it. It attacks me in my sleep. Okay? Let me tell you something. I don't hate anything. That's where they win. They win when you're busy talking about what's wrong with the world and what you can't control. Most of you can't control your bowel movements. You can't control what you think. And the reality is, I'm going to tell you something, and I mean this in the most loving way. And this is it. Most of you are never going to find the Holy Grail on this planet. And that's when you totally love, honor, and respect yourself. You don't get it. The greatest energy medicine machine in the world, okay, is called your subconscious. You need to understand this. Your conscious mind, which only is what? 10% of your brain, okay? All right? It is the captain. It's the captain. So we need a captain to steer the ship. But guess what? Everybody else doesn't tell the captain what to do. They wait for instructions. And what kind of instructions are you giving yourself? I'm sick. I may not get well. I'm getting older. Okay? Nobody can help me. This is frustrating. You got to watch your mouth. I am a genius. I am intelligent. I am a self-healing machine. I was created by God Almighty. I'm going to act like it. Okay? Never in history has that which created the universe ever judged you. That's a dumb bullshit religion. You know what? Oh, you're going to get yours, Dr. Wolfe. Oh yeah, when am I? Okay, everybody keeps telling me I'm going to get mine for teaching unconditional love and that you've never been judged by that which created the whole universe, and I'm going to be in trouble. What the heck is wrong with us? There is no government official. There is nobody that I will ever humble down to, and I will never do it. They are scared of unconditional love. You have unconditional love for yourself. That means that you wouldn't eat things that are poison. You wouldn't talk with a poison mouth, and you wouldn't hang around with poison friends or watch poison things. And take a look at your habits. Take a look what you do in your spare time. Look at your own mind, because it's a landmine and it's not your fault. I had to work very hard. I'd be dead already with this personality if I wasn't in the health business. And the reality is I did my first whole life coach course, okay, when I was 27 years old. Okay? Another few weeks and I'll be 67. And the reality is you can't do something and try to teach people how to love and care for themselves and stand up for themselves and not become a tiger. Well, this tiger has teeth. The government has no teeth. All they've got is threats. And let me tell you something. I am not out to down anything, but understand this. The third leading cause of death in this country is the medical system. But it is used by everyone. And as soon as they put on a white coat, you go into a trance. And everything they say, even if it's, we're going to take a knife and we're going to cut you from stem to stern, and you're going to be better for it. Okay, I'm in. And do you know why you opt in? Because you have been set up your whole life that you're unworthy and that you need to be punished and that you don't have the intelligence to look after yourself. Let me tell you something right now. I have what's called a New World Practitioner training. And in 22 days, that person will be more intelligent than any medical doctor when it comes to healing and health, because they're not in healing and they're not in health. So the reality is I'm not putting them down. You cannot call yourself a medical doctor, okay? Because what they are is they're physicians and surgeons. They're not doctors. They don't talk about diet. They don't talk about nutrition. They don't talk about detoxification. So I'm not trying to put them down. I'm just trying to tell you something. You better mind your own business. Okay? You want to make sure that you stay away from crowds. I'm telling you, because that's their target, is crowds. And understand, I really feel for you guys. I lived in Kelowna. This is the gem of Canada, so they're going to take it apart. They're going to take it apart. They're going to undermine it. And that's what they're going to do. But guess what? All we had to do was just stop buying their garbage. All huge corporations are now owned by the tobacco industry. So you're allowing the tobacco industry to feed you. Unless you get it directly from the farmer, it's organic, you're going to juice, you're going to do whole plant-based keto. That's the only way to do it. You don't know if you're getting organic meat, if it's genetically modified right now. And most of you that eat animal products, guess what? If you eat an animal product or drink dairy, eat cheese, okay, or do any fish that is farm raised, guess what? In 1 month, you have taken the dosage of 1 concentrated week of antibiotics into your system. And then you wonder why your gut's no good. If you want your gut to be good, then guess what? Then let go of everything that everybody ever told you that you were guilty of. That's the first thing. You know, I teach something that's called therapeutic vomiting. Do you know why? Because how many of you said, this makes me feel sick to my stomach, and it was an emotional thing or something going on? Well, that's what you needed to do, was therapeutic vomiting. And that's in my Perfect Day Guide, tells you how to do it. If you don't get rid of the issues in your tissues because they were created in your mind, that is a landmine, okay, you destroy yourself. How many of you eat and you're disturbed, or you're not in a good mood, or you're exhausted when you're eating? Or you're hurry up and eat, everyone, okay? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Why? I don't know, just hurry up. We've been programmed to destroy ourselves. Look at, whether you believe it or not, we had 12 strands of DNA, we only have 2 now. A Jaguar has 12 valves. That's right, Jaguar engine, 12 valves. Could it run on 2 valves? Well, maybe, but not very good. So you're running on 2 valves. Whether you want to believe it or not, we were genetically altered. If you wanted to do your homework, but God wouldn't want to do that, and you wouldn't want to listen to me because it's not real science. And no, what really happened is that there was this garden, and there was Adam, and there was Eve, and there was an apple, and there was a snake. Believe in whatever you better want to believe in, but you better start believing in yourself. And I'm going to tell you something. You won't be able to believe in yourself until you learn how to crack your coconut. You have to crack your coconut. And what does that mean? That means that you have to become an observer, not a judger. You need to observe yourself. Take all your energy that you can and your time and start observing, okay, what you think, what you drink, what you eat, how you react. Okay. Almost everybody in this room has a family member they don't like. If you could get into unconditional love, see, there are family members that I don't like their beliefs, but that's not what you have. You have hate. You have dislike because they're family. Blood's thicker than water. No, it's like mud. The reality is this, is you need to understand something. You need to go where you feel peace and joy. You need to hang around with those that bring you up. You need to keep your mouth shut when you want to have big dreams and you go after your passions unless that person's already done it. How many times have you told someone, I'm going to do this, I'm going to become that. I know that I can do this. No, you can't, because they're only going to give you their opinion from where they come from. I would ask nobody's opinion. I would sit quietly with myself and that which I believe that created me and have a friendly discussion and go by my gut instinct, because that's the most important thing, because everybody here has been programmed. Remember what I told you, the captain? I'd like to see you go through one day without, putting yourself down, putting the world down, talking about the government, talking about the COVID, talking about the V, talking about the climate change. Can you just stop? You can't control it. But if we all had unconditional love and we shut our mouths and brought our vibration up, the whole matrix would fall. Because guess what? It wasn't a movie. It was real. So here's the deal. Every time that you feel stiff, every time that you lack energy, every time that you have inflammation, you're running toxic programs in your mind. There you go. There you go. That's it right there. This is my personality. Oh God, please, really? This is not my personality. Because if you follow me, you'll see that next year I will even change more. If you go back a year ago and watch my videos, I've changed. If you go back a year before that, and you know why I've changed? Because I believe that there is a God Almighty and it's nothing like most of you even think. And the reality is that I am not scared of any human being down here that wants to threaten me. And the reality is I will go out of my way to feed this body the highest vibrational foods and drink, and I will not hang around with you if you are depressing, if you are angry, if you want to talk about what's wrong in the world. I want you to tell me what your passion, your purpose, and your gift is, and let's go for it. Or shut the hell up. Shut up. And I meant that. Because that's the problem. Stop the poison. And that's what it's all about. And guess what? This whole victim thing, I'm an empathic. Oh, I bet you feel for everyone, don't you? Oh, I sure do. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. We need heroes. We don't need empathics. We don't need people pitying anybody. We don't need anybody stroking somebody, okay? We don't need any more victims. Do you know how many victims are in this room? Let me tell you something. When you learn to love people unconditionally, you will be able to go, and I know exactly what you're thinking. Because you will be allowed to look at everyone as an open book. Because when you understand that you are me and I am you, when you understand that we were created by the same creator, when you understand that, guess what? People are not their beliefs unless they are in love with themselves and in the present moment, and they have great health. I can say that I don't believe that there's anybody in this room that puts out the energy I do. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you wouldn't be able to. Because you cannot allow, the opinion of another person to come into your life unless that person is boosting you, helping to support your dreams, your passion, your gift. That's it. I don't call my children or family members that I know are going to bum me out. I'm not going to do that. Do I love them unconditionally? Absolutely. Do I want them to change? No. They have to change themselves. If I wanted them to change, then guess what? I'd get depressed. Oh, I want them to be like me. What? Really, Darrell? No. My children, my family, my friends, they have to find their way. They've got to find their way. Why don't you just mind your own business? Every one of you have children, and guess what? You won't leave them alone, and you tell them how to live, and you want the best for them. But meanwhile, you don't even know how to give the best to yourself because you can't love yourself, because if you did, you'd go to hell. And you don't even know that you believe that, but you do believe that because it's way back in the recesses of your mind, or why aren't you doing it already? The only relationship that you need to fix is the one with yourself. You fix that one, and guess what? You will see your problems fade away like the Matrix. Remember something. Your life is only dependent on the way you react, the only way you attack. So I'm going to say something here tonight, and it's like, then what I'd like you to do is take that home and ruin your sleep, okay? All right? And then in the morning, you're either constipated because you can't let go of it, or you've got diarrhea because you blew yourself up with it. And that's none of my business, and I don't really care, because if it wasn't me, you'd find someone else. So let's talk about what really goes down here. So I already told you that your conscious mind is the captain. So you have to stay in the present moment and make high vibrational decisions. Did you understand that? You make high vibrational decisions because you're telling your subconscious, okay, because, you know, you're steering the boat. Your subconscious works on autopilot. All you had to do was love yourself. All you had to do is say to yourself, I'm the greatest thing that was ever created. But most of you go, well, that would be selfish. Well, is that what he teaches? Selfishness? No, I teach. What do I teach? I teach you how to be selfish enough that you're not going to be limping into this room ever again on an emotional or physical level. I'm going to teach you how to be selfish enough that when somebody wants to poison you, because all your family poisoned you with food. Oh, and then guess what? Can't wait until the family has a celebration so we can all just blow ourselves up with sugar and alcohol and flour and sauces, and we can all overeat, okay, and then have a fart attack or a heart attack. Everything's a setup. You didn't notice? Well, come on. What goes on here? Guys, help me out. So we got Thanksgiving, we got Halloween, then we got Christmas, and we got New Year's, and they're all packed into 4 months. That's enough to kill anyone. And that's why they did it. And why did they do it then? Because there's no light, there's no fresh food. So now we can really just hammer you into the ground. And by the way, every time somebody in your family has a birthday, you might be getting a Dairy Queen ice cream cake, or you're going to get a big cake with ice cream, okay? And then we've got the hot dogs, and we got the hamburgers, okay? And then we've got the alcohol, and because we're celebrating life while we're killing ourselves. Don't you tell me that human beings are intelligent, because they're not. If you have intelligent beliefs, you're intelligent. If you have stupid beliefs, you're... Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. I'm kidding. You've been stupefied. The majority of the population will not get this. And you're going to love them anyway. You're going to leave your family alone. You're going to leave your friends alone. You're not going to tell anybody ever what to do again. You're going to take all that energy and just heal yourself. That's what you're going to do. And then guess what? If you want to become a health practitioner, you're going to have people pay for it, because if they don't pay for it, they don't respect it. And nothing is free. We don't have free health care in this country. We have free terrorism, free poisoning, free radiation, free chemo. Seriously? Are you kidding me? I don't need an insurance policy. I am my insurance policy. I am bigger than a virus that is dead, that can't jump an inch because it's dead. I am bigger than bad bacteria, because I don't have any bad bacteria. Maybe I have a few, but I don't have many, because I know how to feed them. And guess what? You're mainly made out of bacteria when it comes to your immune system, but you go ahead and just go pump that soap this year. Most intelligent species in the universe? No. You know what? I'm okay with it, okay? I'm okay with it. I get it. Anything that eats and poops is not a high vibrational being, but I want to work my way towards that. Is that okay with everyone? Is it okay that I want to work my way to the next level? Because I truly believe that the universe is one big PlayStation game. And the reality is, if you don't bring your vibration up, and that's called unconditional love. One love, one law, unconditional love, and that's what it's about. You couldn't make me feel guilty for anything. One of my children tried to make me feel guilty today, and I just went, I love you. But don't call me today or tomorrow or the next day. Give it a breather. Why? I'll tell you why. Because I forgot their birthday. That's it. It's over. I want a new father. Meanwhile, I am the father that I wish I had, because I've always been there for my family in every way. Nobody can say no, that I haven't. When they want me, I'm there. But I am not going to treat them like victims. When they want to make change, let's do it together. But until then, I'll mind my own business, because I'm just involving myself in something that they don't want me to get involved in, which is their personal life. But I did warn them all when they were younger. I put them all on the couch, all four of them, and I said, listen, me and your mother totally screwed you up. You'll probably become a drug addict, alcoholic, okay, need psychotherapy. But the reality is that we apologize, and we're here to help you because we're working on ourselves now. And we didn't know any better. Until you know better, you can't do better. So let me ask you, how's the captain of your ship? I hope you know that the majority of the population is only in the present moment 2% of the day. 2%. So really? Okay, and guess what the minority's in? 5%. Now what if every time I had a thought, okay, and it wasn't high vibrational, I went like this, 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, that's the old me. 3, 2, 1, I'm not doing this. 3, 2, 1, I'm changing it. Because that's what you got to do. You got to count backwards. That keeps you in the conscious moment. That keeps you in your conscious mind where the captain is. Because only 5 seconds later, that wanting that cigarette or to vape or to have that alcohol drink, another one, or to go eat that donut or have more sugar, if you keep on bouncing your knee, you will have a neurological disease. See, can't stop it. And it keeps shaking. So understand, that's a program. And you will have a neurological disease if you don't have one already. You have anxiety, you stress yourself out, and you stress everyone else out. Now, why? Do you know why? And I won't look at you, I'll look over there. Okay? And the reality is that when you were younger, you were beat up on, very much so, on an emotional level. And guess what? You don't believe that you have what it takes to have everything that you want. So people that are bouncing their knee, okay, that's them, always stressed out because they're not enough. Now tell yourself you're enough. I am more than enough. And then say, bugger off, Darrell. Okay, all right. Don't bounce your knee unless you gotta pee. All right, listen to me. Every time I open my mouth, I'm risking. I'm risking, aren't I? Oh, wait a minute here. I want things to be different. Well, then I'm going to talk different. Oh, no, you're not. Talk the same, because I don't want to be made to feel uncomfortable or belittled. Well, I would never do that to anyone. But the reality is you got to be told, if someone cares for you, that if they're observing that, hey, you've got a belief system that's not yours, that's undermining your health and your wealth. But we don't do that, do we? We hide our little family secrets, don't we? Don't bring up my secret, I won't bring up your secret. And don't tell me you don't. Everybody does it. I'm going to rock the rest of my life, whether it's one day or whether it's another 50 years, because I get it. I get it. You are untouchable when you have unconditional love for yourself and you make high vibrational choices and you understand that you are an electrical magnetic being. And guess what? Your beliefs are magnetic. If you're poor, you've got poverty thinking. Okay? If you're rich and you make money easy, it's because you believe you can. Sorry, but that's it. That's all. That's all it is. Whether you like it or not. If you're sick, you've got sick beliefs. If you're overweight, you can't let go. And you are actually unconsciously poisoning yourself. That's why you're overweight. Somebody said to me today about, I just got rid of this fat. Well, you're not going to get rid of the fat until you get rid of the belief that you're beautiful. Okay, because we need to be fat to store all the infection and inflammation, okay, from the dysfunctional beliefs we have about ourselves and the way we eat. Do not most people only have a 4-inch consciousness? Will it fit? Seriously. And then it's 30 feet of hell. Okay, so here we go. How many people believe that your mind is like a garden and that what you have to do is plant a seed, and that seed needs to be based on unconditional love and care for yourself? And then you water that and you feed it so the roots go deep. And as that belief becomes a prominent, dominant thought, a lower vibrational one will fall off to the side. You get it? Your personality is only made up of your beliefs. But they're not your beliefs. I just told you that. Do you know why you're different than all the other children in the family? Because your mother went through a different type of pregnancy with you than with the other children. There were different circumstances, that's all. So if you could just say, because guess what? Do you know how many people I work with that say, oh, I get migraines because of this. I have asthma because of this. Okay, my son is in psychotherapy because he has some kind of disorder. And I'm just like, Darrell, keep your mouth shut. What a bunch of bullshit. You just crippled your kid. It's all belief systems. There are no diseases. There are only symptoms, and those symptoms are signals of your body telling you, when are you going to embrace me and love me? You have 50 trillion cells, 500 trillion bacteria, and they're all screaming for you to love you. But guess what? You wouldn't do that because you might go to hell if you did. The only way that you can get rid of a disease, which means you're not at ease, and there are no diseases because you're just out of alignment, okay, with loving yourself and caring for yourself. And that's it. So you might as well get it or don't get it. And this is why everything I do is about vibration and frequency. This is why I'll be showing you how we do it, but this is why we use a cell sonic in our treatments and in our clinics, because it's 25,000 volts put into a love harmonic. There's nothing stronger in the world for vibration. Nothing. Think about that. You can put your finger in a 120 volt socket and have a stroke or a heart attack. But I'm going to put into somebody tonight 25,000 volts in a field. Do you know what that does? That instantaneously shuts down stage 4 inflammation. Oh, and then here's this. Now they're really pissed off again. Because no way can we do that. I said inflammation. They call it cancer. But it won't stay shut down. Why won't it stay shut down? Unless you brought your vibration up with the things you drink and eat and think. Yes or no? So that means you'd actually have to stop hanging around with toxic people. That means you'd have to stop doing toxic things and thinking toxic things. Wouldn't that be something, eh? Do you know how many people here have toxic habits in here? 95%. You can't give them up. And you never think about them. And when somebody talks to you about your diet and that, you never bring that up because your subconscious wants to protect you for that. It wants to protect your actual problem. I already know that when I do a consultation, I tell everyone, please don't lie. Tell me the truth. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to be upset. But if you don't give me all the information, we're not going to get there. And it's not me against you. It's me and you, okay, going in to erase and replace belief systems about yourself so that you can move on with your life and have the life that they said you could have, but they actually took it from you. I'll be 67 years old and I can kick butt. You give me any 20-year-old, they won't keep up with me. Okay? They won't keep up with me mentally and they won't keep up with me physically. Why? Because I go, Darrell, you're a genius. Darrell, you have abundant energy. You were created by God Almighty. You act like it. You got this. Let's see what you can do. And the only time that I get overwhelmed is when I don't realize how to connect to my breath. Because when you can stay connected to your breath and you know you're breathing, yeah, baby, you know, I live it. I have been going like 95 miles an hour. And if you go 95 miles an hour, most of you would be a train wreck because you've got to eat right, think right, drink right, and you got to love yourself. That's how I can pull this off. That's how if you want to follow me, you watch what I do. What I do in the next year, most people won't do in a lifetime. And I'm not saying I'm special because there's nothing special about me because we are all special. You have decided to fulfill, okay, their prophecy that you're not special. And that's what we call slaves. And you do know this is a slave planet. I won't get into it. But if you really want to do your research and you want to get rid of all the fairy tales that you were told when you were a child and all those places and those buildings you went in and they told you all those fairy tales, I don't want to get into it because I don't need a lot of tomatoes thrown at me tonight. If you want to get rid of all the fairy tales, I guarantee you, whatever your story is about what you think the world is, I can promise you that if we were to sit down toe to toe, I could prove that you are not thinking right. And why would you think right? You already know that you could stay home and do 2.5 to 3 hours homework a day, and you would do more than if you went to school. When you finished school, high school, you didn't know how to feed yourself, didn't know how to love yourself, didn't know how to feed another human being, didn't know how to love another human being, but you knew how to get your pants down to welcome a spirit into the world that we could just make toxic. And it's not your fault. If I can't tell the truth and if I can't move through this and tell people that they deserve more, they are more, and this whole thing is a setup, then why do anything? The day that I can't do that anymore, I quit. I don't quit life. I'll just quit doing this. And to think, the other thing too is this, the way I speak and the way I act, to have one out of every 1,000 people believe in me, I'm rocking it. I'm rocking it. And that's it. Are you willing to change your personality? Are you willing to change your personality? If you're not willing to change your personality and smile more and drop your arms, drop your arms. That's not the cold. That's a block, subconscious block. That's what it is. And does somebody want to tell them to turn it down a little bit if it's too cold? Okay, see if they can. We did last time. Can somebody do that, please? And remember something, if you're too cold, speak up. If something's not right in your life, speak up. Stop putting up with stuff. Stop. You know what it is? I just want to be nice. Really? I don't like nice people. I like people that speak up, and guess what? You're not going to get anything in your life unless you demand it. And that's it. You'll get nothing in your life unless you demand it. I demand everything for me. I don't demand it from you because there's enough of everything. Did you know that we could have 100, ready for this? We could have 100 billion people living on this planet and it would hardly take up any space, but you fell for it. You think that there's not enough water. Meanwhile, where'd it go? The same amount of water that was here centuries ago is still here and it'll be here tomorrow. Right? There's enough air for everyone. And then we get into the carbon thing, and we already know that there are there are like 1,000 times more trees than we need for how much carbon is being put out. So the reality is, guys, believe in whatever you want, but I don't believe in anything. And guess what? I also don't trust any of you either, but I do love you. But I don't trust you because you don't trust yourself. Because if you trusted yourself, you wouldn't be going and having to search for who's going to get me well. Would you? But it's not your fault. Like I said, I'd be dead already if I wasn't in the business. And that's the truth. Because, like, I don't have a AAA personality? Right. Okay. Okay, so. When you believe that you're more, you'll be more. When you let yourself off the hook, you won't have it in you. When you get rid of the chokeholds of why you're unworthy or not good enough for the mistakes you made in your life, you will fly. You will no longer be a turkey gobbling down here with all the rest of them. You'll be an eagle and you'll spread your wings and you'll fly. Can I say something with all the love in my heart? I don't give a shit what you think about me. Because I already know that I love you anyway. So it does, and I mean that. I'll look you right in the eye and say it. Because I know that that's the only way that we can end slavery on this planet. You know, you want to talk about your faith, you want to talk about your religion, and we all came from the same creator. Are we done yet? Just make sure whatever you believe in, whatever those beliefs are, you better make sure they're healing you and they're not holding you down. They're not bringing you down. I don't care what you believe in. You could believe in that the donut man in the sky does everything for you, and it wouldn't matter to that which created the universe. Did you know that? Long as you're happy. Long as you're happy. Long as you're healthy. Are you happy? Are you satisfied with your life? Are you waiting for your children, your husband, your wife, or the world to come and make you happy? You should have to have no reason to smile. You should be smiling all the time, a slight smile. That which created the universe decided that you should be created. Now, what you do with it is your business. It is not that which created the universe. So when you're down on your knees, begging God, please get the heck up. Please me, but. Okay, you've got everything you need. Are you going to make the changes? Like you're here, but you don't eat right. You don't live right. You don't look after yourself. Compared to your friends, yes. But your friends are ending it. Why don't we just take a walk? Why don't we all just go take a walk outside and take a look where we are today compared to 1970? Why don't you go take a look? This is totally a foreign planet. Okay? It's hard to look at someone that's radiating health. And even if they're eating right, if they don't love, honor, and respect themselves, their vibration's down anyways. I don't know what's wrong. I eat organic. I do everything. It's just I don't know. Well, I know you don't know. It might be this. And that's the truth. Huh? Yeah, I just walk and leave. I walk and leave.
Speaking the truth.
When my family, my friends start doing that, I just go, gotta go. Because guess what? Okay, 35 years ago, I believed that when somebody suffered in the family, if I suffered as much or even more, I got the prize because I love them more. You just got ruled and screwed. I want to kill myself. Okay, all right. If that's what you want to do, give me a call tomorrow if you're still around. You think I'm kidding? I've dealt with it. You call me tomorrow if you're still around. Are we done playing the victim, looking for victims? Are we done yet? And then you wonder why this is called the harvest? Seriously? Hello? All right. So, who would like to come up? It's not the hot seat. Would you like to come up, love? Okay. All right. Don't upset me. Come on up here.
If I can get up here.
Yep, come on up. There you go.
I gotta use my hand to push up. There we go.
Hey, listen, I use my hand to do a push-up too. Give me a hug. Thanks for coming.
Thank
Brave
you.
soul. Okay, talk to me.
Well,
Continuing
on our conversation of all the problems.
Oh, no. We're not going to say problems anymore.
Oh,
Okay? Okay? We're going to say obstacles that we can overcome. See, problems. She doesn't have problems, okay? All right?
I have
All right.
obstacles then. Obstacles.
Yes, and where's the obstacle? Right here. Here's the obstacle. But go ahead.
Well, starting with osteoarthritis.
Okay, so let's, before you go any further, osteoarthritis. So first of all, she used to have joints that were just stiff. The stiffness in the joints was the tendons and the ligaments, okay, because of inflammation, because of sugar, because of dairy, because of alcohol, because of bread, okay, because of because of pooping in her pelvis, backing up her liver, okay, the blood becomes more toxic, less oxygen, and arthritis, okay, means it's Greek, right? Because guess what? We wouldn't want to say, oh, you've got inflammation in your joints, because now then a person would say, well, how do I get rid of that inflammation? No, they're going to say you have arthritis, and then you're not even going to look the word up. Are we a bit moronic? We don't even look the word up. You know, how many people looked up the word virus, which means poison, not things that jump 6 feet? I didn't see that. I mean, I looked in the dictionary. I looked in many different, I looked through a lot of them. And all it said was poison, because it means poison in Greek. Do you understand? So arthritis means inflammation in the joint, which means that it's scar tissue, a little bit of displaced calcium from the bones. Are you getting this? And inflammation causes dehydration. If I put a burger on the burner and put it even on low, and I have it there for like a week, will that burger shrivel up to be a piece of beef jerky?
Well, the doctors say, you know, that
we're not going to talk about doctors. We are not talking about medical doctors. If you want to tell me something short about it, that's fine. But the BS never stops, and that is the dysfunctional belief system. That is a rabbit hole we are not going down. You know, people say, Dr. Wolfe, I've got this whole list of symptoms, and I've had all these surgeries, I've had all this and all this and all this. And I go, listen, we don't even need any of that. We need to focus on what you want to become. We need to focus on what's going on with you, but we talk about it one time, and then we create a perfect day, and then you put your heart into it, and it gets turned around. Did you see the way she said it? She did a little bow. The doctors say. I don't want you to bow down to me, and I don't want you to bow down to any doctor, okay? You need to challenge everyone that's messing with your body, okay? Why do I give a money-back guarantee on my courses, my trainings, and my treatments, right? Because I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and tell people that, guess what? We're going to respect you and honor you. We're going to prove that we work right.
So if you look at what they say about osteoarthritis, it's the cartilage dissolving, disintegrating, and bone on bone.
Okay, first of all, just know this, and you can believe it or not, but we give a money-back guarantee that you're not going to go to surgery, even if you're booked. Do you know what? This week alone, I can tell you stories, 4 stories of 2 knee surgeries, a back surgery, and also a shoulder surgery that was canceled after the first treatment. You need to understand something. Have you ever gotten non-surgical before?
Yeah.
Non-surgical.
Oh, no, not here, no. But This is what I'm saying, non-surgical, because I said, no, I'm not getting
No, we have a technique called Wolfe non-surgical.
Okay, no, I haven't had that.
Well, understand, we could do one treatment on her and we'll change her whole philosophy right away, instantly. See, if you can tell a lie long enough and strong enough, that's right. So the reality is for me to think that the majority of the population is actually going to buy my BS is me with my head up my butt. Because the reality is whoever can repeat a story long enough and strong enough wins. Because understand something, you do know that Columbus raped and ate people, but you will be celebrating him again this year. So, just letting you know, okay? All right? Okay? So just so you know that. No, I just want you to know that. So everything that you know about every hero and every savior is a lie. They were a murderer and a destroyer. Okay, so just know that. So let's just make this perfectly clear. So every story out there is basically, challenge me on it, I would love it. I would just love it because I've done my homework. I just did. Okay, so when everybody goes home to Netflix and Amazon, I go home and I go down the rabbit hole. And I spend about 2 hours, 3 hours, and I do that every night. Are you with me? So understand, I don't go in as a conspiracy theorist guy. I look for real science, real research, and oh my God, 1 and 1 are 2, not 11. So osteoarthritis just means inflammation of the joint, and that the osteal part, well, there should have been a clue for her. And that means she pulled so much calcium out of the bone that now it's in the cartilage, and now the cartilage is actually calcified. And when they go to look at it, they say it's bone on bone. And all we got to do is get the calcium back into the bone, which we can do. And then the next thing is, how many people know that you can only have 10% left of your cartilage, which we know everybody does, because I've been doing this for 40 years, and the cartilage grows back. Oh my God, really? Oh yeah, bones grow back, organs grow back, tissue grows back, things grow back. No, really, our ancestors knew that, but you forgot it, and you forgot it, and now you get to have stents and mesh and rods and screws and plates. How am I doing?
Yeah.
And pacemakers. And why do you have a pacemaker? Because you're an anxiety person. Only people who get pacemakers are people that have anxiety all the time. Because we need to get a pacemaker to tell your heart how to beat and understand something. If you were to talk to the person when they're having anxiety or they're having angina or they have something wrong with their heart, you'll find out they have something wrong with their love affairs, that they have something wrong and they're really stressed out over a family member or something going on. Okay, let me tell you something. I hope you know this, that over 90% of all heart attacks are just angina and anxiety attacks when you get to the hospital. So just know that. So we are trauma drama queens, kings.
I don't know where to go from here now after you said all that.
Well, I'm trying to show you.
If I say something, then it's like, whoa. No.
Okay, well,
But
would you rather I
understand-
didn't do this and
No,
just told you that?
I agree with you with the
No,
bowing
I'm
down
not.
to the doctor.
No, I'm not talking to you anymore.
No,
No.
because when I listen to a doctor, I left Western medicine a long time ago because they've got their place, which is break a bone, okay, fix it. But I've looked at the holistic
Did you hear that?
approach.
Break a bone and fix it. Look
Yeah.
how busy they are.
Right.
There's a lot of broken bones. No, there's a lot of what? Broken belief systems.
Yeah.
And they're not fixing those. Okay.
Well, the inflammation is a big part of what is happening within me. I know that.
Okay, well, first of all,
Bones.
what type of water do you drink?
Berkey.
Okay, but guess what? Berkey water. So now she's got a carbon addiction. Do you understand, everyone? So if she had a Berkey and then she used a structured water unit like this, now it'll actually hydrate into her 1,000% better. Because can anybody notice that she's dehydrated? And she could be drinking all the water she wants, but understand something. Your body has to have enough energy to structure every bit of liquid that comes into you. Did you know that? And here's the deal. when water or any fluid that you drink comes into your body, it has to be structured, which means that the surface tension has to be lowered, or else it can't get into the cells. Every cell, what's called an aquaporin channel. Do you mind if we do some science, real science, and cut the BS? So every cell has an aquaporin channel in it, and once I run anything through this that's a liquid, it's structured. It has no surface tension. I could take our Berkey water, and we could have mosquitoes or bugs, water bugs, walk across it. They try to walk across structured water, they drown. Does anybody know what structured water is? Okay, do you know when you go out towards Bear Creek? Right on the left, there's that spring that comes down from the mountain. That's structured water. Yeah, we'll be talking about how much you owe, okay? Okay, so, no, we're going to tax that. Okay, all right? Oh, and just so you know, guess what? I don't pay tax legally. We set up a whole system in Puerto Rico. Understand, that's where all these psycho elite guys go, and that's what they use. Okay? People, my practitioners and my patients buy one corporation. They never pay more than 4% tax for the rest of their life. We just send the paperwork to Canada Revenue or United States or to Italy or Japan. It doesn't matter where. Puerto Rico is the only place like it in the world. And it's totally legal. You're not offshore. You're not hiding out. Yeah, so see, you don't know this, do you? Just like we don't know this other stuff.
Start the plane.
Hey, listen. We have people going over every day now because we have a whole system. I'll be doing a show on it, and we'll be releasing that in about 4 weeks. And it's such a smooth system. You get in a plane, you land, we pick you up, we take you because everybody's scared. You know, and then we take you to the bank. 2 hours later, you've got your account, and you go back home. And then we put, wherever you live in the world, we put them on notice. How's that? Is that good enough?
Sign me up.
Well, I'll talk to you later if you want. But I will give you the name of the person who does it. And the person who does it, just so you know, he was asked to be in the United States Senate. He was asked to be on the Supreme Court. He speaks at United Nations. And he is actually a dear friend of mine. And all he is a humanitarian. He says, listen, Darrell, me and you are going to create this BraveHeart Nation, BraveHeart University, and we are going to create health and wealth for the whole world. And if you think I'm kidding, you haven't seen anything. In 12 months, we will be all over the world with this, and they can't stop it. They can't stop me. They can't charge me. They can't do anything because it's the system that, guess what? Does anybody know where Revenue Canada's office is? In Puerto Rico, so that they cannot have to pay tax. Why don't you look it up? Okay, are we done now? Because guess what? Revenue Canada is not, it's a private business. It's not a public business. Okay, well, I don't want to get into it right now. And the reality is, we're not talking about Canada. We're talking the same with the United States. We're talking the same with Japan. We're talking about the same every country in the world. You got to sit closer to me.
Oh.
There you go. That's it. Oh, yeah.
Get in camera. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, so anyways, so you have what's called an aquaporin channel. No water can pass through that channel until it's structured. Do you know how much energy it takes to structure your liquids? A lot. So this here never breaks down, never wears out. You ever hear of Kangen? Very expensive.
Yeah,
and it's healthy water, but it's not structured. You still need to structure the water. I'll give you a 90-day money-back guarantee, so then you can call it BS if you want. But guess what? You know what if I said to you, you could get on a phone and in 1 minute, we could be on talking to someone in China. You'll go, yeah, of course, I'm not stupid. Okay, I can take water and run it through here, and now it's structured, and you'll have 1,000% better hydration and detoxification in your body. She's drinking water, but she's dehydrated. Anybody see that? Does anybody see the bone calcium? Does anybody see the malnutrition? I see it all. Can I put my hand on your tummy?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not bad, but there's your transverse colon. It's fallen down by 4 inches. So that means that her transverse colon is supposed to run underneath her ribs, and what happened is it's fallen down like a valley. So now, here's the scoop on poop. So it has to go up the ascending colon, and it's supposed to come across and then down. Yours has to go down into the valley and then climb back up and then come back out. So it's taking a lot longer, so the smell is a lot stronger. Okay, so the reality is there's putrefaction, and she's absorbing that, and it makes her feel shitty. Right?
Yeah.
It would, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so that also, whether you want to believe it or not, are you ready for this? 95% of all low back surgery is because you were pooping in your pelvis and you have a bowel problem. Then you're going to tell me that you never had one in your life. And I'll tell you, right now, I've got about 9 colon cancer patients that we're working with to try to improve their life and everything. And guess what? Some of them have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day because it's not what comes out, it's what stays in. Are you with me? Okay, you don't look 3 months pregnant because you're healthy, especially if you're a man. But then I did hear men could get pregnant, so I could be wrong. I have to research that. Okay, all right.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me, because I have the swelling right here where the stomach is. We come down into the stomach. It swells up, and it's just impossible to...
Okay, did you ever live on the farm?
No.
Did you ever go to a farm?
Maybe.
Okay, well, has anybody been to a farm here? Probably not, but okay. Did you ever see the manure pile? Did you ever go and flip the manure over to look for the worms so you could go fishing?
No.
Well, if you were to put in there and you were to flip it over, gas comes off. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have, your only disease is gas ass.
Or stomach ass. I don't know.
No, it's not stomach. Okay, but I will tell you that if you want, we'll take you over here today, and I'll find out if you've blocked your solar plexus, because most people will block their solar plexus. Remember Iron Man? Remember the light here? Well, that was his power. And most of us will block our heart. If you take a look at most people, you can lay a person down. Okay, are you left or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, then why is your left higher than your right? I'll tell you why. Because little Missy has been protecting her heart, and she's got scar tissue and calcium around it. Do you see how it's higher?
Yeah.
Well, no, this should be higher because this is the dominant side. And if you were to take a look at everyone here, you'd find out that even if you're right-handed, you are higher on your left side, because guess what? Do you know why heart disease is the main killer? Because guess what? You are looking at your family and your friends as one large nipple, and you're sucking off of them to try to fill up your heart, because you cannot live without love. So what I do, instead of using my partner Lori and my family as a big nipple, I fill up my own heart, shine the light, and if they've got gas or any type of problems that day and they don't show me any love, it doesn't matter, because I love them anyway. And this is why marriage doesn't work. And 99% of the time, and I just say 99% of the time because guess what? Yeah, but Darrell, only 50% of people get divorced. Yeah, and a lot of the other ones are miserable as crap, but they just hang in there because of religion, or, you know what? He's good to me. He doesn't hit me anymore because he's got frozen shoulder. Okay? All right.
That was me.
That was you? You had the frozen shoulder?
Well, I've got tears in both of them now.
Well, they're not tears. So what the problem is, they're not tears. So the reality is that she's losing tissue integrity. Infection creates inflammation. So if I go and move up and down, and I've already got some scar tissue in here, and I've lost tone and integrity, if I go to do the same movement to reach for something, but I've got scar tissue in here, I have limited motion, I'm actually going to micro tear the shoulder.
Yeah.
Now, whether you believe this or not,
That's true.
I will give her a money back guarantee like everybody else, that I will go in and do her shoulder and work on it for 10 minutes and all that's gone. Because what happens is that the lactic and uric acid and the adrenaline and the cortisol that's created because she's stressing out because I'm getting old, I won't be able to look after myself, I'm going to have to go to the home and wear Depends, and every time I go to Costco, there's a whole row of them, and I'm having nightmares, you know. But, so all we have to do is just get rid of the shoulder problem and she won't have those nightmares. But we'll give her a money back guarantee, but if she's going to go home and drink structured water, put black diamond in it, take daily cleansing tea to move her bowels because she went and took and made her beautiful garden into a swamp. What came first, the swamp or the mosquito? The swamp. Do you understand that the reason why, ready for this? There's only 1 out of 100 people that don't have worms. The rest have worms because low vibrational on an emotional level and on a physical level. And you can do all the worm cleanses you want, but until, remember, the terrain decides who lives there. Oh, I decide who lives in my house. Okay? I'm not going to have any parasites live in my house, and I'm not going to have any parasites live in my body. And you do know that the people that have the parasites, they didn't eat them. They created them. You created the parasites because of your low vibration, and the low vibrational foods created the parasites. They were created. You create everything. Do you understand? You think you eat them. I mean, God, most people that have they go, oh, I had food poisoning. No, you didn't. I hope you know that almost 90% of all food poisoning is emotional poisoning. And maybe the food was a little off or something, but did you ever say that you make me sick to my stomach? I feel sick to my stomach. I can't swallow that bullshit. Did you ever say that stuff? Well, what do you think? If you did therapeutic vomiting and you get rid of the invisible and the physical toxicity that's in there, then guess what? Because guess what? Your stomach is the guard dog. And the more garbage that you swallow emotionally and physically, the more that you ruin the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. That means that everything's going to rot through the small intestine and then be totally rotten by the large intestine if the hydrochloric acid wasn't strong enough to actually break down the food. So you better make sure that you chew everything into a liquid.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't. You're chunky. Okay, she eats chunks and I can see it. You can't do that. If she were to take all the food and it were whole plant-based, nourishing food, and she were to chew it until it was a liquid, guess what? Her whole life would change.
Well, I think about that sometimes. And
Well,
I do
if she
extra
thought about
chewing.
it, you know,
no,
at least
I do the extra chewing. Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
So what I need you to do is I need you to put your spoon down or your fork after every time you put something in your mouth. And you're not allowed to pick up the spoon or the fork until that becomes a liquid and it's down. How many people know that you can eat 1/3 of the food that you eat now and guess what? Have an extra 70% energy if you did just that.
Chew, and chew. Yeah.
Choo choo. Okay, all right. So just understand that you can reverse even the osteoarthritis. But then you'd have to take CIT calcium, calcium ionic therapy. That would be the Merigen right there.
Okay.
That's expensive. But I will tell you, if you take it and you were to do it 3 times a day, this is what we see. A 30% change in your bones within 3 months. Is that fast enough?
Yeah, that's very quick.
That's very quick.
3
But do you
months.
promise you're going to drink structured water? You can promise you're going to do the daily cleansing tea? And would you do an ultimate coffee enema to purge your liver for us? Would you start doing the pelvic stretches and the crab stretch?
Yeah, actually, one of the people that I know suggested pelvic floor physiotherapy.
No. Do the pelvic squats and do the crab stretch. Okay?
That I can do, yeah.
Well, just know that the pelvic squats are the most powerful pelvic exercise on the planet, and they're free. You don't need a physio to do this. And just so you know, I really feel for all the physiotherapists because their work is almost useless.
Oh, wow.
Well, really? Well, how many people do you know that go to them and in one treatment they go, I can lift my arm over my head and I couldn't even wipe my bum this morning? How many people do you know that would come and they have a knee problem and you're going to give a money back guarantee and that person comes in with a cane and they could hardly walk the stairs and they could walk up the stairs or down the stairs without the cane? Are we done yet? So understand something. You are used to therapy that doesn't work. Massage therapy doesn't work. It makes you feel good. Physiotherapy makes you feel like you're doing something. But unless you're going to get rid of the scar tissue by restoring the life force back into the tissues, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Wasting my money going to physiotherapy and massage.
Well, you got to understand something. If it's government approved, there could be a clue. It's government approved. There could be a clue. It's government approved. Now we should just sit here for an hour and say that, and then maybe somebody would get that. Now, not all physiotherapists are the same, but understand something. Any government that can have their paws on a manual and decide how it's going to be written, that is not good, because there's a government inside a government called Rockefellers, Rothschilds, called the royal family. And these people they believe that they have been chosen, okay, that they have been chosen to actually look after the planet the way they want, and to make sure that the planet doesn't get overridden and they're psycho, they can poison people and keep the population down. Now, meanwhile, I'm okay with that, but the problem is they're getting off on it. And I don't like that. Because most of you are poisoning yourself anyway. They don't have to do anything. I should tell them. I should call them all up. Hey, you psychos, royal families, you can just go on holiday now because you've programmed everyone, and they're just going to poison themselves anyway, so you can just take it easy. What do you think?
Then they wouldn't have anything to do. What would they do?
You have to understand something. That wasn't the point of the conversation. Because I do not make them my conversation. I only state things and then leave them alone, because we're here to raise our own vibration. I do not focus on them. I do not fear them, and I don't focus on them. I don't hate them. They have a job. Okay? That's what they feel their job is. So understand that. Don't take it personal. The reality is nobody told you to buy the Oreos. Nobody told you to buy the chips. Nobody told you to eat your food fast. Okay? Nobody told you. Understand something. I don't care what you say and how bad you think it is out there, but understand, I am ultimate health. And I live in the same place you do. There is not one symptom with me. I don't have one illness. I haven't been to a doctor since I was like 23 years old. I don't need to get a checkup. I don't need anybody to do a blood test. I don't need anybody to do anything. I know that I rock. Thank you very much. You go ahead and get your blood tested. Get your urine tested. Get your poo tested. You couldn't get tested enough because you failed the test, because you don't have enough unconditional love and care for yourself that you bring your vibration up that you don't have to deal with any of this. Doctors have only been here for 125 years. People like myself have been here since the beginning of time, okay? And understand, they were the ones that were called quacks, but because they have the money, they can switch it around, and now I'm the quack. Well, I don't care what people think anymore, because guess what? We wouldn't be able to look after any more people. Yeah, you've got practitioners out there worried that somebody's going to steal their business. Are you like looking around at the population? Everyone's sick. Not everyone, but we're talking about over 90% of the population has an autoimmune disease. You guys, you do know something, right? Okay. 60% of children have a chronic illness now. 60%.
And obesity.
Well, they don't have obesity, okay? They have parents that are poisoning them. I'm going to say it like it is. They go to school, they eat poison. They come home, they eat poison. If they don't have obesity, they have parents that have been programmed, and they just fill up the cart, okay, and that's it. Okay, we are not the most intelligent species in the universe or on the planet. And that's the deal, until you want to wake up. You know what? I'm not saying that I'm totally organic and totally everything, but I am 85 to 95% every day. Every day. And as far as my thoughts go, you couldn't make me feel bad. My family wants me to feel bad. Because they feel bad. So we should all feel bad. Jeepers.
So what you're saying, or what I think you might be saying, is by raising the vibrational energy of your body, you are...
For one thing, if you were just to have a slight smile all day long and let everybody say that you have a mental disorder, because everybody will think you do, because people say, don't you tell me to smile. I got nothing to smile about. And then I say, well, then piss off. Because the reality is this, as I walk around with a smile on my face, you know what? No matter what happens, and you should see the stuff that I'm doing. I mean, I'm doing huge projects that most people don't even do one of them, and I have like 3 or 4 going on all the time. And if one just goes and it goes right upside down and it blows up in my face, I just go, all right, we got this. Okay, that's not working. Let's try something else. You know, how many times have you died in 1 hour? I can't take it anymore. Either can I. I'm running. Bye.
Oh dear. But that, yeah, the vibrational, I understand that because days when
Okay, does anybody look at her face? She has red color in her cheeks. Go back and watch the video. You were white as the hair on your face. She had no color when she came up here because she came here going, I'm sick, I'm dying, I need help. Will I get healed? Oh my God, will someone help me?
turn this around.
Mother.
But then the vibrational energy, I think, is really important to mention.
Oh, really?
And how to
It's
how
the
to
only
do
thing.
that.
It's the only thing.
No, when I've gone out in public and I put a smile on my face and I'm walking around, you know what? I've had people come and say, oh, do you ever look nice today? Or I like how you look or something.
Yeah, and
So-
were you scared that they wanted a date or what's wrong? What's wrong? What's the point of this?
No, it was just-
What's the point?
I'm just saying, when
need to
you
get
do
closer
have
to me.
that
Come on, get
smile,
closer, get closer.
when you do
Come on.
have that smile, it attracts people to you at a different vibrational energy. than
Okay,
maybe
first
when
of
they
all,
left the house.
first of all, that's nice. But the
Yeah.
reality is you can smile all day long and nobody's going to come up to me and say that to me because I'm too busy. But guess what? I'm busy smiling and having a good time with myself. Do you understand?
That's the
Listen
other
to me.
thing.
You know, hey, Darrell, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to be busy all day. Why? Well, I'm playing with myself. Oh, my God.
Okay, really?
Oh, really? What were you thinking?
That you're playing with yourself,
Oh, my God.
whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means. Okay?
Whatever that means.
Whatever that
yeah.
means.
All right. So inflammation, get rid of the inflammation.
Well, no.
Vibration.
Get rid of the inflammatory beliefs about yourself. Okay. What do you believe about yourself that you don't like about yourself, please?
What do I believe that I don't like about myself?
Oh, well, come on, just say it.
That I'm where I am right now.
And why are you there?
Why am I there?
Because you deserve it?
No.
Then
I
why
don't- I
then
don't
why
believe
are you
that.
still there?
Well, here we go, and you're going to have something to say about this.
I am.
Lack of money.
No, it's not the lack of money.
It is. I take the word H
No, I'm gonna-
and W and change them around. What is it? Wealth and health. Health and wealth.
Okay, first of all, let me just say something. What if she actually just went into my library and learned everything that she possibly could? What if she watched every video? What if she followed the Perfect Day diet? What if she did this? What if she learned it so well that now she could be a role model and then charge her friends, okay, all right? Just even $50 for a consult, okay? And then the word would spread because there's so many people that are suffering that are older. I mean, they're so constipated. They're a cork up in the wine bottle, right? Okay, and that's what they complain about all the time, right? Yes or no? And
Yes.
their stiffness and their pain, but you would know how to get rid of it. Now, how valuable would that be?
That would be valuable with an old nursing friend of mine in Winnipeg. Oh my God. Everything you can think of.
What do you mean?
Diabetes, hypertension.
Okay, hold on
glaucoma,
a second.
Can't walk.
Now, hold on a second. Okay. So becoming the nurse was the problem. Okay, so everything is programming because nurses are not into health, but thank God for nurses in the hospital or there would be no love and care.
Right.
It would just be totally cold and it would be a concentration camp. So at least with those beautiful nurses that have the heart and the love, but nurses know nothing about health. So please, why did we go off in that? Why did we go off there? You know what? You have a better chance at getting healthy because you weren't programmed like her. Even if she didn't believe in nursing anymore, she's programmed. You do know that we act like robots, yes or no?
Oh,
you
yeah,
do know
definitely.
that I already told you 95 to 98% of your day is spent, right? So guess what? Here's the deal. I told you, the captain of the ship. Are you going to be alert enough to smile more? Are you going to be alert enough to not be eating the candy, the chocolate, or whatever you're doing?
The ice cream.
The ice cream. So guess what? Do you actually eat ice cream?
I changed to gelato now. So
Okay.
I got rid of the dairy.
So here's...
One step at a time.
Okay, and guess what? At the way she's stepping, we'll have to pray on our knees, me and you, that you live till you're 1,000, because that's how slow you're going. You are rotting out. Okay, people don't like this, but guess what? She'll never forget me. She's rotting out faster than she can change. Yes or no?
Well, I believe I'm rotting out, yes. But I believe in the change also.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah.
she went from ice cream to gelato. Big step. Okay.
Well, organic food, I eat organic.
Oh,
and
forget
you
it.
know,
Don't give me that. I'd like to go in. If I could go to your house right now, we could zap ourselves. I would not like what I see in the cupboards or the fridge.
Well, my fridge you would. My family's fridge you wouldn't.
What does that mean, their family's fridge? They have 2 fridges beside each
Oh,
other?
yeah. No, seriously.
Who's your family?
My niece and her husband. Processed food. So,
We're not going to talk about them.
No.
No. No. We love everyone.
that's the
We
battle.
love everybody anyway. There's no battle. This is why you came in with pale face. Because the reality is guess what? Because they're family, okay, all right? I'm going to push my ideas onto them because I love them.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, well, you just tried it again. You tried it right here in this place, and don't do that again.
Okay.
You leave them alone. Because I'm telling you something, they are addicts just like cocaine addicts. Mm-hmm. And the reality is all you're going to do is get bad feelings and you're always judging. But meanwhile, you're running around complaining about how miserable you feel, and then you're telling them what they should eat. And they feel better than you.
Well, actually, they don't. But I've stopped telling them. I don't.
Oh, really? Well, thank God.
I don't offer any.
Should we call them and let them know that they can live safe now?
Yes, they don't have to worry about me saying, don't eat this or don't eat that.
Yeah, and guess what? Every time that she would do that, okay, it brought her vibration down. And guess what? She has a belief that she doesn't even know that when she brings her vibration down for family, she's doing her duty. And that's what I said earlier. Family needs you to suffer for them. And if you don't, you're a prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Milk that monkey.
That's true.
Milk that monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
No fooling. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to do now?
What I want to do now.
Go home and play with
Just-
yourself. Okay,
yeah.
with somebody else.
Okay, I got to use this.
We'll work on
Get
work
down
on
here.
you in a bit here, okay? Is there anybody else want to come up? Okay. Really? I've ruined it for everyone. Okay. All right. Okay, Zane, can you get the bag with the holes in it for the eyes? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's talk about what we were going to talk about and this is this. You don't need drugs and you don't need surgery. I'm telling you right now, you don't need drugs and you don't need surgery. You can turn this whole thing around. And how do you do it? Everything is vibration. Everything is vibration. You know, the sickest you've ever been is when you believe that there was no hope. When you felt helpless, it's over. That's it. You know, I can tell you this because I've been doing this for a long time. Somebody will call me up and go, and this happens a few times a week. Because I used to run the Wolfe Clinic, and my stage 4 inflammation, they call it cancer protocols, were on Cancer Tutor. You know Cancer Tutor? And they were the most popular on there. And I actually wanted to not be the cancer guy anymore. So I actually walked away from that clinic. And then I reopened as Doc of Detox. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you something. It's very difficult to get somebody who has stage 4 inflammation to love and care for themselves. There's not enough time to change the beliefs that they don't just deserve to live, but they deserve to thrive. The closest thing to a cure for anybody that has a life-threatening illness is to crack their coconut open and go in and get rid of the belief that created it. If you don't believe me, go into my library and watch The Emotional Chemistry of Cancer, Disease, and Healing. And you'll find out the reason why you keep on having reoccurring illnesses is because you keep on telling the story. Okay, just so you know, there's a thing called shell shock, whether it was a car accident, someone passed away, you broke up a relationship that you're in for a long time, a child dies, or something like that. As long as you take that trauma drama moment and you keep on telling the story to yourself and everyone else, you will die. And you will die a slow, miserable death. Now, they took shell shock and made it into PTSD because now it's very friendly and cozy. And it's actually shell shock. All of these guys that come home from war that should never have went to war, it's only because they wanted to be a hero and they didn't know how to become their own hero. So they had to go become a hero. But the reality is they didn't realize when they went off to war, they were killing their brothers and sisters. Now the reality is this, they woke up to it. They don't come back feeling heroes. And the reality is that's called shell shock. And they call it PTSD, but you cannot live with yourself. If you harm another human being, well, let's see how that goes. But the reality is now everybody has PTSD. I have PTSD. Like I'm working with this, I was working with this beautiful lady and her husband, and she had ovarian cancer. So they said. But I don't believe in cancer, I believe in inflammation. Because if you call it cancer, it's a death sentence. If you call it inflammation, you feel like you might be able to control it, turn the burner down. But if it's cancer, it's a death sentence. So everything is psychological warfare today. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, and your family plays psychological warfare too because they don't know that the subconscious just wants to be right. And that can be really a dangerous thing. But let's get back on topic. So anyways, we turned her around and guess what she had? She had leaky gut so bad. And guess why she had leaky gut? I'm going to tell you why. I'm not going to get into it, but her religion was destroying her. And I'm not saying every religion destroys people. I'm just saying her, the way she thought about it. It was eating her apart. Now her husband, working with him, he was just okay. He was the fixer and she was broken. So they came together and he wanted to fix something and she wanted someone to fix her. So that's what their relationship is based on. So I had to get them to understand that your relationship is based on that and you may not know how to stay together because you need to fix her and she needs to be broken to satisfy you and she needs a hero. So you have to do the psychology part of it. And it's everybody. It doesn't matter what you call for an illness, you have a psychological situation. Because the invisible creates the physical, the psychological rules the biological, we bloody well know that. And that's why people go, you know, I'll get on here and I'll go, I'll never have a disease. And people go, yeah, you'll get yours. I'll get a nice thing to say. The reality is I won't get mine. Because when I say it, it just sits in me so beautiful. It's not like I say it and it goes, you know, like the person who says, yes, I want to win the lottery too. I mean, who says that, right? Well, people say that, but when they say it, they believe they never will, so they never will. Are you with me yet? Everything is psychological. So the reality is I'm talking to her the other day. She has a question, so I'm answering it. He goes, guess what, Darrell? You're so right. And I go, right about what? You're right. I have PTSD. And I said, no, you don't. You have shell shock because you keep on telling the same story because you want to let everybody know that you're suffering so bad, but you're still doing okay. Hey, listen, I don't know about that, Darrell, but I'll tell you one thing. I've got a PTSD therapist now, and every day I get to check in with him. I'm going, that's great. And guess what? We're going to go back and find out why I have the story that created all this, because you're right, there was a story way back then, and we're going to go back and fix it. I say, why can't you just unconditionally love and care for yourself and let everybody off the hook right now? And if you know that Uncle Harry sexually abused you, then just send him love and never go see him again. And let it go. But let it go. And stop telling people stories. Because people love to hear stories that are worse than theirs. Because they go, well, I'm not doing so bad. Oh, I'm feeling good, feeling good. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. And then I love this part because I spend most of my life giving stuff away, creating things to teach people, and then he's out for the money. You see? If the brain can't handle something that's totally different, it has to attack it. And it's not the brain, it's the subconscious, because your subconscious will do anything to protect your dominant, prominent beliefs, even if they're killing you. Hey, go home, take your clothes off, you'll see your personality. That's the end result. That's the end result of your personality. Tomorrow morning when you get up, try to stay really focused and conscious. If you don't want to spend 20 cents and get a BraveHeart love band, get a hairband or elastic. And then every time that you think about something negative in the world, it's not positive thinking about these psychos. It's not positive talking about it anymore. It's actually irritating. And the reality is, if we were to ignore the bully and mind our own business, you know what? We would have ended slavery for the first time since this planet was created. But we're not going to, because we can't mind our own business, can we? We have to talk about the things that are out of our control. But meanwhile, we're out of our control because we don't look at our personality and our reality and stay in the present moment and just make logical, healthy, wealthy decisions for ourselves. I'm only getting started. You know, when you get to the point that you don't care what people think about you, but you base everything on unconditional love, it really doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think, because if you were to actually get hurt by what people think, you are going to suffer for the rest of your life, because if your beliefs do not match another person's, and the majority of the population don't go, wow, that's a really cool belief, that's high vibrational, oh, I want that. No, they go, that's different, bugger off. So it doesn't matter how you feel about the way I feel about the things I do, or how I feel about you. You're all off the hook. You're off the hook. If you could let yourself off the hook, you wouldn't be stiff. Remember something, guys, okay? Here, let's just do it. Just know this. There might be one or two people in this room that get off on the dose. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. That's me. I do not use, okay, my high for adrenaline or cortisol or histamine. I pleasure myself all day long. If you were to pleasure yourself all day long, if you were to dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, but you'd actually have to love yourself, and you'd actually have to stop judging everybody and everything that you don't like. If you did that, you would heal. Did you get that? Did you get that? Did you get that? Did you really get it? Did you really get it? Because you need to get it. And that's what you got to do. Did you really get it? Did you really get it? Because repetition is how you got sick. Repetition is how you're going to get well. Hey, I don't want to keep repeating something over and over again. I feel like a moron. Really? Guess what? That's how the subconscious learns. So we got to make sure that we get a new captain of the ship and Mr. Happy and Healthy. And that's all you think about. I'm not sick. I'm not fearful.
But that's wrong to say there, I'm not sick, I'm healthy. You shouldn't say I'm not sick.
I'm not saying you should say that.
That's what I mean.
I'm trying to say, no, you're only going to say things that are, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. You already lie all day about how you're unworthy, how other people are unworthy, how the world is this, how the world is that. You lie all day. So you might as well lie about something amazing, and then guess what? It'll come true. We are magnetic, okay? And like I told you, everything is a lie, because there's no such thing as gravity. We're magnetized to the planet. So just, I wanted to give that on a side note. There's no such thing as gravity, but that's what you learned in school. And everything else you learned in school was a lie too. Okay, so let's get back to the story. So anyways, so now he's going to go for PTSD therapy, and this therapist is going to actually help to support him, that he's been messed up all his life because he had a messed up childhood. But now we're going to go back there and we're going to clean it up. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? What is wrong with you just being happy right now, letting it all go, and just loving your life? Okay, so let's talk about it. So here we go. So hack, histamine, adrenaline, cortisol, that's what you dump every time that you have any fear, depression, guilt, anger, envy, jealousy. Okay? And guess what? Do you want to know something? You ready for this? Watch your family. They are addicted to the adrenaline. I've got children that are addicted to adrenaline. And they want to start a row with me so they can get high. Everybody wants to get high. Everybody wants the buzz. The buzz from dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins heal everything. If you want to go into fight, fright, or flight, oh my God, did you hear? Did you hear? Don't want to hear. Don't need to hear. Get out of here. You think I'm kidding? Get out of here. I don't need to hear. I like where I'm at. And understand something, for all of you people that talk about all this BS, dysfunctional belief system stuff out there, you're terrorizing yourself and everyone else. What if you ignored the bully that was in the schoolyard? I ignore the bullies. But guess what? Sometimes you have to get on here like me and punch them in the face and say, that's it. One good punch. They're not after me. They're after the low-hanging fruit. The fearful ones. The ones that every time they get fearful, they go and toke like 3 or 4 times a day. They vape, and vaping's worse than smoking. And vaping has an ingredient in it that actually causes Alzheimer's. It actually causes leaky brain. So just know that. It's dangerous as hell. It is hell. Just understand, every one of your addictions, unless it's based on unconditional love, needs to go. But it's going to be difficult because you live with a whole family of addictions. Okay, so now if I'm dumping histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol because I want the buzz, okay, I want to get excited about something, even if it's fearful, okay, then that's going to be cause inflammation in my body, okay, right? Yes or no? Because guess what? Does anybody know that if you're dumping adrenaline for more than 3 minutes, you're actually causing brain damage, joint damage, organ damage? Did anybody know that? Well, no, what happens when you dump adrenaline is you take most of your blood and you put it in your arms and legs, even if you don't get up off the chair. So the reality is when you are in fight, fright, or flight, you have no immune system because you're supposed to be running from the tiger. And you're only supposed to dump adrenaline for 3 minutes, because if you didn't get up the tree or in the cave within 3 minutes, you're eaten. But the reality is, we don't have any tigers. What we have is we have tigers with no teeth called government. I bet you that I don't have TikTok tomorrow. I will be kicked off. I'm like a week on and a week off. Sometimes I'm a day on and a week off. And the first time I went, oh my God, how can I change it? And then I'd have to change for them. I'm not going to do that. TikTok, here you go. So understand, so now we've got high acidic, drugs. How many people know that every symptom is a signal from your body saying, please love me? And every symptom turns into a disease because you're not getting proper care. It's just a chronic symptom. Hello? Okay? Now, so the longer that goes, you're going to crystallize, pull the calcium from your bones, and you're going to dehydrate and create beef jerky. Do you know what old age is? Scar tissue and displaced calcium. That's all it is. And any doctors here, any chiros want to challenge me? Come on, get up here. Get up here. You wouldn't dare, because you can push a joint in, but it's going to pop back out. Until you know how to pull the fibrin apart to get the circulation and the elasticity back, you can go to the chiropractor till the cows come home. You can get acupuncture until the cows go home and try to move the energy around, and I have a doctorate in it and I don't use it. Are we done yet? It's only scar tissue and displaced calcium that causes every illness. Why doesn't anybody try to challenge me on this? Go do your homework and then come on my show and challenge me. I like people say, you don't know what you're talking about, then help me out then. Help me out. I don't care if you're talking about hemorrhoids all the way to a tumor. It's the same thing. There are no diseases. It's dis-ease. You're out of ease. You're out of harmony with yourself. So now you're going to get all this scar tissue piled up. Grandpa, you're walking stiff as a board. Are you okay? I don't feel a thing. Do you know why he doesn't feel a thing? Because the scar tissue and the calcium has wrapped itself around the nerve. But when the calcium starts to wrap itself around the nerve, you've got neuritis. And you've got pain in your body, like if you move, oh. But then after a while, the whole nerve becomes calcified and scar tissue. And then guess what they say? The nerve's dead. That is a bunch of BS. I'm telling you right now that if they tell you that you've got nerve damage in your spine, okay, all right, you don't. You get rid of the scar tissue and you get rid of the displaced calcium, the nerve comes right back. How many people know it's not a circulation problem when your foot falls asleep? It's actually scar tissue and calcium going in the joint, and when you bend your foot just a little bit, because the area is being taken up by scar tissue and displaced calcium, there's no movement. So now you're choking off the nerve that gives you the impulse. Hello? But here's the deal. If you had perfect circulation, you'd have perfect health, right? Yeah. Just so you know, everyone, and you can tell everyone, we're coming. Okay? We're opening up a place called Creme La Creme. And when you come in, it's going to be all natural health skincare, because most people like that. And it's superficial in a way, but it's proper beauty, because people are poisoning themselves. And then you walk a little further into this beautiful place that has a great water feature. And then you walk into Doc of Detox, and we do non-surgical there. We have a Cellsonic, which is the most powerful energy medicine device in the world. And then we have a cardio med bed. And a cardio med bed, you can have somebody that has a 92% blockage in their heart. Did you hear what I just said? And in 37 hours, we will have a whole new set of arteries in there. The body will build it. Because with a cardio med bed, we'll put cuffs around the lower leg, the upper leg, and around their pelvis. And then in between the heartbeat, it will contract. 60% of their blood is going to go up into their abdomen, their core. It helps to turn around Alzheimer's. It can totally turn around heart disease, impotence. It gets rid of fat. It's the greatest fat loss you've ever seen. Cellulite, gets rid of varicose veins. And understand something, 1 hour on this cardio med bed is the most powerful exercise program in the world. You didn't move, you just laid there. Because isn't that what exercise is? Circulation, and your body doesn't know you're not exercising, it thinks it is. How cool is that? So that's what I do, is we bring the thunder down. So we have the most powerful energy medicine, the most powerful circulation. Then we use the non-surgical, and then we teach you about a perfect day diet on an emotional and physical level. That's why we can give a money back guarantee, because it's your body that unleashes the miracles, the healing. And there is no cure except for you to change your personality. That personality being a loving, caring person for yourself, and you're on guard because you've been programmed to poison yourself, which means you're poisoning your family too. And your family will try to poison you for the rest of your life. You'll just know that. It's not going to change. Okay? How many people are actually into health in a family? You might get 2. But usually it's just 1. And guess what? At the beginning, it's like, I'm going to go honey, I'm going to get into a really good health program and lose weight and really get healthy. Oh, you go ahead, honey. He's really happy for her. Now she's starting to lose weight. Oh, you're looking better. Now she loses more weight and she's getting toned up. And now, guess what? His subconscious says, let's order pizza. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. I'm telling you I'm right. Listen, you stay chubby because I'm going to. You stay lethargic because I'm going to. Okay, I don't want you getting energetic on me, because that means you might leave me. Do you understand? Paranoid, schizophrenic humans. And guess what? All we had to do is unconditionally love and care for ourselves, and we wouldn't be jealous, we wouldn't be envious, and we wouldn't undermine our friends or our family or the rest of the world, would we? Oh yeah, unconditional love is really dangerous. Would you say that that which created the universe, you want to call it God or Creator, has unconditional love for us? Would you say that or no? I say bullshit. Then why do you walk around with guilt? 1 minute God loves us, next minute God hates us. You know what? We made God into a dysfunctional human that should have a white straitjacket and be on Prozac. Do you actually think that that which created the universe has a personality disorder? Yes, but I read it in a book. Really? Yeah, and I guarantee you that nobody messed with this book. It's the only book, but nobody messed with it. Understand something. Believe what you want, but guess what? You better unconditionally love yourself. Let yourself off the hook for everything. Or guess what? You're going to have chokeholds on yourself. You're going to have circulatory problems. You're going to have migraines. You're going to have headaches, indigestion. How am I doing? Okay, so what we're going to do is let's take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to show a little bit of non-surgical. How's that? And I'll show how the cell-sonic works. I couldn't do the cardio med bed because that sucker weighs like 1,000 pounds. Okay? All right? Okay, so let's take a 5-minute break. Anybody on the platforms, if you want to come back on, well, I guess I'm gonna end them, and then we'll just restart them. And thanks for putting up with me. God bless. 5 minutes.